Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Well. It looks like there's a deal. Ha! We'll see. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this Thursday, the 9th of October, 2025. And as you can see from the pictures here, there's celebration in circles of opposite directions. And how long is this one going to go? We'll see. But I'm going to try to be, what's that word? Hopeful? I don't know why. It's important because a lot of the mess emanates from that part of the world. And, the fact that we're friends with the hated ones always puts that target on us too. So, you want it to work, but call me skeptical. Anyway, we'll talk about that and a whole bunch of other news. But first, we're going to say hi to the people who are showing up as we speak, and that includes the person who was here first. Whoa! It's midnight. Yeah, you get the bell. Midnight gets the bell. Well done, young lady. You must be refreshing faster than AD, because I don't know how he does it. He's just there. And so there you go. Congratulations. Well done. Also, good morning. Speaking of Avocados Diabli, good morning, Avocados Diabli. You are here, and as always, you're in the top 3 today. Also, good morning, Miss Wild Wolf, Mike Savage, Blarg, Blue Eyed Screams in the house. Let's see. This is early. My other favorite Canadian, Unacceptable Views, is here. Good morning. Louis is here, sang the right song. Rick Ashbringer, hello. Good morning, Johnny Boomertech. Of course, he's sitting right over there. Also, hello to, that's it. That's everybody, because I didn't do my 10-minute countdown. And so we'll see what happens. Oh, that's what's different here. That's what's different. What I can't see. Well, here's all the people here. That's weird. It doesn't tell me. Oh, there it is. They changed the interface on the back studio on YouTube, and it messes me up because I don't know where to look for things. It's right there on what I was looking for. So we got 11 people here so far, and I'm sure there'll be more than that eventually. Usually we top out at 30, 35. I wish I could get 100 people here. I don't know how to do. I'm just wondering. Anyway, just a side note too. This afternoon on my friend Scribe Light's channel, I'm going to go visit him on his 9th anniversary show, where he will be streaming for a long time. And there might, if if he gains $1,000, there may be a face reveal. And like I said yesterday, I don't know if I want to see Scribe's face. I don't. I'm so used to the avatar. That I kind of feel bad if he does a face reveal, but you know what? I guess that's everyone. Every once in a while, you got to do that. And also, as someone mentioned yesterday, Scribe's father passed away, and that's really sad. So I want to, make sure I give my condolences to him too. He's been a good friend to the show for since the show started, because I used to show up. I used to go on Lords of the Night every once in a while, and was a guest there, and got to know Scribe and Monkey and Satsu and what's American? Not Random American. What was her name? Some Dumb American. And I just I appreciate them a lot. They were inspiring to me, and so that's what we got to do. We got to do that. Oh, also, I see there's some more people here. Why did I not notice this? Okay, the Pope's in the house. Yes, Pope Tyre, Ranius, the third, the Blessed Lich, with today's message of hope. Yes, today's message of hope is blessing of the heavenly dead. Did you know that there is a papal pet? A cat, in fact. God has given man dominion over every beast so that we may protect and care for them as he does for us. That's a nice message. There is a night pet. His name is Clifford the dog. And if you go on Instagram and follow me there on either Marty's Big Journey or Marty Got Jokes, you will find Clifford the dog. More likely in the Marty's Big Journey Instagram account, which actually I'm going to here. Let's do this. I'll put a link to that today, to Marty's Big Journey, because I've been posting pictures from our road trip from a couple weeks ago. Not pictures, video. Well, pictures and video, and so if you go over to Marty's Big Journey, which is right here, you'll see that I've been posting. Well, that's weird. Why is that like that? Do I got to go to the left side? Hang on a second. Left? No, it should be right. It should be the other way. Let's go full middle. Anyway, Marty's Big Journey. I have a few videos there. I'm really proud of this one. This one right here that it's blinking on your screen. I got a little creative. In fact, here, let's play it. This is my sunshine video. We were in War Road, Minnesota on Lake of the Woods, and we got up so that we could see the sunrise over the lake, and it turned out to be very beautiful. Oh wait, I can't do music though. So I can't play the music because, copyright weirdos. But this was the video of the sunrise, and we went out there, and it was so beautiful out that morning, and thought that was kind of cool. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff I do on Marty's Big Journey. We just put vacation videos. There's Lady Boomer walking down the side, and there's my dog. Speaking of my dog, there it is. Where'd he go? Okay, he's in the picture at the beginning. So there you go. Good morning. Also, Jay Blizza, what up, JB? Good morning. And Little Wild Wolf. Wait, you changed your name? Okay. Anyway, and that's it. So there you go. So yeah, you can check out my my Instagram where I'm a little more personal with stuff. All right. Let's. I never would have guessed that was a dog. Thanks for telling me. No, my dog, my puppy, but that's not just a dog. It's not just a dog. It's my dog. And that makes it extra special. See, look, watch. Here we go again. There is my dog. Well, there's Clifford. That's Clifford, our buddy, my little buddy. Yeah. So there you go. All right. Anyway, shall we do some? Let's do some news. Let's do some news because that's what we do here. Lord Stanhope, good morning. How you doing? Nice to have you here. My hope is knowing every soul shall taste it. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. He's not giant and red. Listen. Compared to my other dog that is no longer with us, Lucky. Lucky was always lucky to be alive because she was a spaz, but we loved her dearly. Compared to Lucky, he is big and red. Because he's reddish brown. But that's okay. Hey, look, we just like the name, so we call him Clifford. Because he's kind of, look, Clifford doesn't have to be a big red dog. Clifford's the name of something that's kind of a, how do you describe this? A dirt. And he's kind of a dirt. But he's also friendly and happy-go-lucky, as opposed to lucky being lucky. So anyway, let's thank the people who shared the stream this morning, as I always do. And let me scroll to the bottom here. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Thank you, Ms. Wildwolf, tweeting out the show. Greatly appreciated. We post that. And what about peace is finally here? Okay, I see. That's what you said. Find out with more of our amazing current events teacher, Marty. Yes, there you go. And thank you for doing that. Also, Ms. Wildwolf with no more war, please. Yeah, I'm again. Color me skeptical as usual because Hamas is still going to be in place. Also, thank you, Tyre Alexander. Miss Wild was retweeting my tweet plus the daily woo from Ric Flair, aka Tyre Alexander, reposting that. And thank you, Mike Savage, for the daily let us go. So there you go. All right, I'm sure more people will do that eventually, but I got to get to the news. So let's start with. Oh, what did I do there? This should be home. This should be turning time. This should be notifications. And there we go. Let's start with I'm going to do a hodgepodge of quickies, so to speak. Not that kind of quickie, AD. Hodgepodge of quickies to go through. DoorDash is in the news. And this is kind of wild. Okay, I'll just tell you what it is. DoorDash and Serve Robotics partner for a nationwide autonomous delivery robot. Now, they have these out in California. These food delivery robots. DoorDash Inc. and Serve Robotics announced a multi-year partnership on Thursday to integrate Serve's AI-powered sidewalk robots into the DoorDash platform, beginning deliveries in Los Angeles from local restaurants and merchants. The third-generation robots, which can carry up to 50 pounds at speeds of up to 10 miles per hour, aim to cut delivery times, costs, and urban emissions while supporting Serve's expansion to 2,000 robots by the end of 2025. This deal builds on Serve's Uber Eats collaboration and DoorDash's recent launch of its own delivery robot, Dot, to enhance efficiency in the $150 billion U.S. food delivery maker. And I've been thinking, I'm not confident robots delivering my food. Now, I know that, those won't get robbed for the free food. Well, I guess they have some pretty fail-safe measures, but I know they get vandalized quite a bit. And I personally, look, I'm not excited about robots taking over the world, because then they're going to program these robots to spy on you or take pictures, or, the city will come out and, they'll take pictures of your yard, and the city will say your grass is 3 inches too long and they're going to fine you. I just don't like that robot delivers. I'd rather have a human deliver it. I'm willing to tip somebody to bring me food. And I just, this whole thing drives me crazy. But anyway, so even DoorDash and Serve Robots announced a multi-year partnership, as people are saying. Can't make this up. Dash announced this morning it's partnering with Serve for autonomous deliveries across the U.S. Serve's shares are up over 12% in trading. I don't know, man. Don't forget, there's still a 25% short interest in Serve. Oh, interesting. Option Millionaire says DoorDash and Serve Robotics partners bring DoorDash, a leading local commerce platform globally, and Serve Robotics Inc., a leading autonomous sidewalk delivery company, announced the new deal. I would think people would be criticizing this. I'm not seeing it as I scroll. Most people are just announcing it. First of all, it's brand new. Let's see what the latest on this is here before I blindly go into a there isn't. Oh, here's the latest. Let's click latest here. See what people are complaining about this. So I scroll down here. I mean, people are saying this is great for Serve. It's great for DoorDash so far, and talking about the stock prices. This is bad for people who, make money delivering food. Let's see. Let's look at this. What is this? Is this? All right, turn that music off. So this is, and you have to, it opens up by, you have to be able to click your phone, whatever on your phone, to get it to open. I just feel like these things in some markets are just going to get vandalized to hell, So anyway, average Norwegian gamer. Too bad for Donald. The Peace Prize was decided on Monday, announced tomorrow, maybe next year. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I think Donald Trump will get the Peace Prize. I believe in that as much as I believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Donald Trump's too hated around the world for that to happen. I don't think that will happen. But could it happen? Yasser Arafat got one, so who knows? Maybe. There's a lot of nasty people who've gotten the Nobel Peace Prize, and there are people who've gotten it for no reason at all. like one of our other former presidents. So, it's like you never know, but I know. And look, for that to happen, if they already made that decision for this year and it'd be next year, let's just say that these peace deals with Hamas don't always last very long. And Israel's has a really happy trigger finger right now, which is completely understandable. So they made a deal. Let's see how long it lasts. The only way the deal that would actually last is if the Palestinians find a way to get rid of Hamas, because we need to free the Palestinians from Hamas. And when I say Palestinians, I mean Palestinians, because that there's not even a P in Arabic. There's no P sound in the Arabic language. How can they be Palestinians? But that's because the Palestinian name was from the Romans. That's the European name for that region. I just think it's funny. People bitch about, a lot of the people who are pro-Palestinian also bitch about colonizers, right? And yet they refer to the land that they call Palestine from its Roman colonizer name. Isn't that ironic? And the Palestinian people didn't even start calling themselves Palestinian until 1965, because the land that was Palestine, well, again, it was named after named by the Romans. So, Judea and Samaria was before that, but oh no, the Romans didn't want that Jewish name. So anyway, by the way, welcome. By the way, average Norwegian gamer. I'm saying that again because it's good to have a new name in the chat. So I appreciate that. So all right, let's get into some other news. So anyway, DoorDash, we talked about that. Let's move on. Other things. Rand Paul is trending. I'm just going to the trending topics down Twitter and X, whatever. I keep saying Twitter. X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Rand Paul is trending. He's been talking about this. Remember I was talking about a penny plan? Because someone in the past was talking about a penny plan where you say every department of the United States government needs to reduce their budget by 1% every year for 5 years. And that's what it should be. Every department, including defense, including whatever, everybody in their administrative costs, it shouldn't be that hard for the entire federal government to reduce their budgets by 1% every year. Through efficiencies, through all kinds of things. There are all different ways to do it. They just refuse to do it because one of our problems with our government is once something in our government is funded, they're not allowed to not spend it. And so, or if they don't spend it, then their budget gets cut for the next year, and they don't want their budget cut. They want to increase their budgets every year. And that's a problem. We should give our government departments incentives to save money, but they don't do that. So anyway, Rand Paul put this out yesterday, or October 7th. So he said Washington's spending levels are unsustainable. True. He says, I offered my 6-penny plan to cut 6 cents from every dollar the government spends so we could balance the budget in 5 years, yet Democrats and some Republicans rejected this plan, which is stupid. We need to do it. This is what I was talking about. So here's what he's saying. So the Democrat, full screen that there. So the Democrat, $37 trillion deficit, $1 trillion annual interest, $3 trillion in deficit spending, $41 trillion in the hole. Oh, the Republicans' plan's not that much better. $37 trillion deficit. 37 trillion? $1 trillion annual interest, $2 trillion annual deficit spending. So only there $1 trillion savings, still $40 trillion in the hole. Rand Paul's 6-penny plan, $37 trillion deficit. He means not deficit, debt, not deficit. He put deficit. He meant debt. Subtract 6 cents for every dollar the federal government spends, balanced budget in 5 years, which is what we want. Now, what are the details on this? By the way, he's trending also because of this. Rand Paul, the U.S. should not be blowing up boats without even knowing who's on them. True. That's the thing with Venezuelan stuff. I'm glad he's pushing back on Trump on that too. Again, I don't agree with everything Trump does, and as you all well know, because my saying is he's kind of a jackass, but sometimes you need a jackass to deal with all those other jackasses, like Hamas. Anyway, he makes a good point here. Well, here, let's see what the clip he keeps putting. He's putting all kinds of clips up here. He puts up his own interviews a lot, but that's okay. Let's see what he says in this one, because I'm sure he's saying something that makes sense. Let's listen to. Whoops! Oh, what happened there? Sorry. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, here we go. Here's Rand Paul.
So, is Donald Trump an autocrat?
Well, the interesting thing is, despite my complaints, despite my pushback,
okay, that's
I still think he's the best president of our lifetime, frankly. I would vote for him 1,000,000 times over a socialist like Harris or a president like Biden.
I don't know what state. Is he on MSNBC
really
or something?
The functions of the job. But yeah, on so many things, he's for lower taxes, less regulation. He's more pro-business. Doesn't mean I agree with everything, but just because I have disagreements and some of the things are big disagreements, doesn't mean that I actually, frankly, don't think he's a great president.
So is Donald?
So I'm fully on board with what Rand Paul just said there. We need more Rand Pauls and Thomas Massey's in Congress. I'm sorry, even though, because when they don't agree with Trump, they say so, and they should. And I wish more would say so when they don't agree with Trump. I know there's political capital that they lose when they do that. I think something about the people in Kentucky, though, these kind of libertarian Republican types that they keep electing, I want more of that water going to the rest of the country. Let's just put it that way. Now, here we go. No, he's not an autocrat. No, he's not. An autocrat wouldn't wait for Congress, wouldn't, bother with Congress and the courts and whatever. He follows the procedure that you have to do to not be an autocrat here.
About what's going on in the Caribbean, Senator Rand Paul, and specifically when it comes to Venezuela. And you've been outspoken about this. You commented around fears of extrajudicial killings following the first boat. We've now had 4. Your concern about the president's actions here, is he looking for?
Avocado Diabli. Okay, let me just stop this for a moment, because I saw what you said in the comment. Water, unless you count the water in bourbon, what did you think I was talking about? Yes, correct. That's correct. Okay, back to this video.
Regime change in Venezuela?
I don't know.
I don't want to play regime change.
Today, the Coast Guard, when they interdict boats, it's a common thing off the coast of Miami and California. Yeah. About 25% of the time, the boat that they board doesn't have drugs on it. So they have made an error, but they don't kill them. But we've blown up 4 boats now, and if the percentages hold true, did one of those 4 boats not have drug dealers on it? If they all had drug dealers on it, the first 11 they killed, what were their names? What was the evidence linking them to being part of a gang?
Thank you, Rand Paul, for saying this.
So I think there's a lot of unknowns here, and I don't think you can have a universal Coast Guard policy of just blowing up boats before they're interdicted.
Now, granted, it's not the Coast Guard that's blowing up these boats down in Venezuela. It's the United States Navy. We shouldn't be doing it. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Number one concern I hear at home is that shutdowns, tariffs are crushing Kentucky's family farms, bourbon makers, shipping jobs, bad policy. Now he's pushing back on tariffs too. The replies to Rand Paul's post show how lost we are as a country. So many people simping hard for tariffs and living in a fantasy world where manufacturing is coming back. She says MAGA is delusional. Here's my take on this. I don't care if there's tariffs. I'm fine with tariffs, but offset it by lowering corporate taxes. You can have tariffs as opposed to corporate taxes, and that kind of forces companies to make a decision to import or manufacture. Now, and plus the fact that because if you look, all these people who hate tariffs are also talking about raising corporate taxes. Now you could say, why not both? Get rid of both. And that's a discussion too. But then how do you raise money for the government? Which personally, I'd like to stop raising money for the government. Let's trim the government down so we don't have to raise so much fucking money for the government. But that's just me. That's my fantasy land. Anyway, I guess lots of people are talking about Rand Paul pushing back on the Trump administration. And here's a typical response from, yeah, this is why I've never called myself MAGA, because if you're MAGA, you're not allowed to disagree with the president. I support the president, but I never call myself MAGA. DC Doreno is one of these all in MAGA people, right? Which I don't mind all in MAGA people, by the way. I'm not, but I will have disagreements with them. For example, he says, I'm confused. Rand Paul doesn't think Trump can drone strike narco terrorists coming to kill Americans. But he did think Obama could drone strike terrorists attacking other countries. How about neither? But and again, are these people coming to attack us? Or, it's not like they're coming into, with guns and bombs and shit. They're coming with shit we don't want in our country, and we should be trying to avoid having those people bring that shit we don't want in our country. But the idea we drone strike people, if like Rand said, 1 in 4 of those boats didn't have anything. So I don't know. I am MAGA and I disagree with the president. I want that last. Oh yeah, there's plenty of MAGA people who who call themselves MAGA that will disagree with the president too. I'm not saying, you get my point though. So anyway, good morning TC, by the way. I see you in the chat. All right, let's move on. So that was why Rand Paul was trending, because he's he's highlighting his own disagreements with the president through his interview on, I don't even know where this interview was. It doesn't say, they don't have a Chiron on this one, so I'm not sure what the interview was with. It might be Face the Nation. I'm not sure, but usually Face the Nation has their logo and Chiron going. Oh my God. And listen, now this is the typical stuff. Just because you don't believe in blowing up random boats coming out of Venezuela, that doesn't mean that you are trying to protect the cartels. Here's this guy here, Bad Hombre. As predicted, Rand Paul's attempt to protect Venezuelan cartels has failed in the Senate. He can go read To Kill a Mockingbird. No, that just means that you don't believe in extrajudicial killing of people. We're not in an official war with them. You can assume it. Look, board the boats and take all their shit. That's what I say. And if they resist or if they fire on you, sure, then you can fire back to stop the boats. But just blowing them out of the water, not being 100% knowing if these are just people trying to get out of the fuck out of Venezuela. Anyway, good morning, Donkey Punch Bandit. That is the greatest name on the internet. And Lord Stanhope, I think I said hi already, but if I didn't, now I am. All right, enough of the Rand Paul. Next one is Chicago. Chicago's trending, as it is constantly trending lately. Which I was laughing at yesterday that the fact that they won the 9th consecutive Best Big City title in the Condé Nast basically popularity poll, which means a bunch of people from Chicago probably go and voted it because it's just a random online poll. And there's lots of people pushing back on Chicago as far as the people from Chicago pushing back on their mayor and saying, look, we need help getting, crime down in these very bad areas. Apparently there was a big march, thousands of people marched in support of domestic terrorists. Oh my God. These people, it's an anti-ICE protest, okay? This is an anti-ICE protest in Chicago. And look, a lot of people are being paid to stir up shit against ICE and other law enforcement. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Chicago has spent $400 million on illegal immigrants this year. On illegal immigrants. And they're just, I don't know how the people of Chicago, look, it's funny because most of the people I see saying, yeah, man, we need some help. The people in Chicago saying, yeah, we need some help are Black residents of Chicago in the neighborhoods that are most affected by murder and other kinds of crime. Now, let's take a look at the march here. Let's take a look at the march. As I watch this, I'm looking through here. I see a smattering of Black folks, but it seems like these are not the people are most affected by the illegal immigrants in their neighborhood. There's some it's mostly a bunch of white liberals, which, and I'm sure, and look, it's funny that they have all these professionally printed signs for this protest. This is not a spontaneous protest. They have professionally made signs for their protests. Now, apparently, the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police, by the way, who is the world's largest organization of sworn LEOs, with 373,000 members, issued a no confidence vote on Chief of Patrol John Hine from the Chicago Police Department. Now, this is interesting. This is from this is Channel 7 in Chicago. Let's check this out. Let's see what this is.
And we also learned today the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police has issued a vote of no confidence for the supervisor who allegedly told officers to not respond to a shooting involving federal agents over the weekend. It happened when agents say a woman armed with a weapon rammed into their vehicle. Yesterday, Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling defended Chief of Patrol John Hine, saying there was likely some sort of miscommunication.
Oh, it was just a miscommunication. That's all it was. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that the mayor of Chicago told the chief of police that they needed to stand down of any reports of people harassing or causing harm to the federal agents there doing their job. We know that happened. In fact, we saw a video of Brandon Johnson saying, nope, our police aren't doing nothing for you. So the stand down order probably wasn't exactly what the old chief there said it was. So that's bullshit. All right, moving on. Other things happening. Antifa's trending. There's an interesting post here because Antifa is supposedly it's just an idea, right? Well, first of all, I always love the mug shots of Antifa people, which makes you understand why a lot of them cover their faces. That's an interesting looking crew. These are mugshots from Antifa people. But I saw a great point on here. Oh, here's Glenn Beck has a 4-minute spiel on this. In fact, I'll put this on the separate link. But the great point that I was hearing from this quote, for a decentralized movement, Antifa sure has a lot of support groups. To name a few, the National Lawyers Guild, which is their legal support, Antifa International, which helps with fundraising, and the Tides Foundation funded Community Justice Exchange, which funds their bailout. So for some places, they're not organized. They're just an idea. They have a lot of professional organizations out there supporting them. It's amazing that they're just an idea. Here's Aaron Burnett. Here's Aaron Burnett because look, as we've seen over the past several years, especially in Portland, where they had siege on federal buildings in the 20s, in 2016 they had a siege on the federal building in the 2020. They have a siege on a federal building now. Aaron Burnett seems to think, oh, they're not that violent. Also, when they were setting fires on campuses and beating up people going to see conservative speakers, it's like, oh, they're just an idea. Well, they're a pretty violent idea. Here's Aaron Burnett saying something stupid, which is par for the course.
In fact, it's not even like far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, which have had national leaders, unlike Antifa.
You know, it's funny, though. The Proud... See, these people have no idea what the Proud Boys are. That's funny, too. I laugh every time they mention the Proud Boys because they have no idea what the Proud Boys are. They have their perception came from a debate with Joe Biden and Donald Trump back in 2016. But they don't really know what the Proud Boys are, how they started. They have no idea. They keep labeling the Proud Boys as white nationalists and far right and all this other stuff. That's not how the Proud Boys started. And that's not what the Proud Boys are. They're not white nationalists, since a bunch of them aren't even white. And well, there's some of you may know the history of the Proud Boys, but anyway.
There is no organized hierarchy to the group, and according to the Center for...
Except they have a lot of groups that sure help them out a lot. Hello, Special Can Acid, on the honorable mention list of my favorite Canadians.
Strategic and International Studies. Compared to right-wing extremists, Antifa-linked violence is rare and limited.
Rare and limited. Rare and limited. But pretty constant. Like, it's been pretty constant for years. And look, the problem is using the name Antifa is fairly new. Probably been using it maybe 10, 15 years. But they've always been around as an anarchy movement. I mean, especially on the West Coast, in the Pacific Northwest. It's the same dumb motherfuckers that have been, did vandalism on buildings, whatever. Anytime there's a kind of a world protest and whatnot, they've been around for a long time. They just started calling themselves Antifa since maybe 2012, but it's the same fuckwads. Anyway, thank you, Avocados Diablo, first sponsor today, which makes you... Let me try that again. Thank you, Avocados Diablo, which makes you...
You are
the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, putting a small bullet in the tip jar of 223, saying, speaking of retards, have you seen they have announced there is no evidence of pre-fire explosion or arson in that fire of the judge's house in South Carolina? Yeah, I've noticed that has dropped off the news very quickly, which makes it obvious that it probably wasn't arson. There's probably something else going on there. So... all that hullabaloo from the other day. Yeah. Like I said, y'all remember what I said when we were talking about that? I said, they're pretty quick to start blaming Republicans and whatnot for this. What if it was just a gas leak? I think there was someone said there might have been a propane tank that blew up or something. We'll see. I mean, they're still investigating it, but yeah, that's... they've been awfully quiet about that, so obviously the narrative was bullshit. Anyway, did she finish her sentence here?
But that has not stopped Trump from blaming Antifa for just about every act of violence in America since he first got into office.
Every act of violence? No, not every act of violence, just the ones that they do. We see them in their little black face-covered bullshit outfits that they have as a uniform. Oh, they're just an idea. But it's weird they have a uniform, too. That's weird. How do they all have matching uniforms if they're just an idea? I'm just trying to figure that out. Anyway, back to the show. So anyway, that's why Antifa's trending. Also, and here I'll put a separate Glenn Beck clip where he connects the dots. He does one of his chalkboard things, and it's worth a watch. It's 5 minutes long though, so we're not going to do it. Palisades is trending. Pacific Palisades. Well, apparently where the fires in California were earlier in the year, they're having a hard time getting things back up and running in Palisades. In fact, here's a guy here. His name's Bruce Liu, talking about Palisades, how nothing's happening there. Maybe. Here, let's play it.
It's been 9 months since the Palisades burned, and the residents that lost everything still have nothing. And where are the California elected officials? Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara is jet-setting on the taxpayer dime, and Gavin Newsom is pushing a corrupt gerrymander to seize power. We deserve better. It's been...
Yes, agreed. Now, interesting fact that happened, though, about that. There's been a man arrested in connection with the start of the Pacific Palisades fires. Now, I don't know how they narrowed this down to this one dude or if there's multiple dudes, but here it is. A man was arrested Tuesday as a suspect in setting the deadly Pacific Palisades fires in Los Angeles that claimed 12 lives and destroyed more than 6,000 homes in January. The Justice Department officials announced at a news conference that Jonathan Rinderknecht, also known as Jonathan Rinder or John Rinder of Melbourne, Florida, 29, has been detained. He is charged with destruction of property by means of fire. The BBC, excuse me, the what? The BBC reports. Stop it! Stop it! That authorities said evidence collected from the suspect's digital devices showed an image he generated on ChatGPT depicting a burning city. The fire was sparked on the 7th of January near a popular hiking trail overlooking the wealthy coastal neighborhood. The Eaton fire, E-A-T-O-N, Eaton, ignited the same day in the Los Angeles area, killed another 19 people and destroyed about 9,400 structures, officials said. The cause of that fire remains unclear. So anyway, this guy has been arrested for the Palisades fire, which is interesting. But yeah, they're having a really tough time there. People are still saying, here's another guy talking about it. Here's 49 seconds of this Spencer Pratt.
The Palisades fire, and today the Department of Justice has proven us right. It was a rekindle of the New Year's Eve Lockman fire and wasn't properly contained by LA City Fire. The city left it to burn and the state left it to burn for nearly a week on their property. They are now on the hook for the dangerous condition that led to the destruction of my town. Told you. The best part is now, finally, we get access to the ATF report. I told you justice was coming. This is just the beginning.
All right, so people are hoping that they're going to get some resolution to this, but while they're getting resolution to what happened, they're still not getting their houses rebuilt, and it's just a slow slog that's going on. Good morning, Selected Boy. Did I already say hi?
Your life makes me sad.
Whoops, that's my life makes me sad. How about this one?
Yeah, boy.
That's much better. Okay, moving on. Let's see, we did that. Hassan Piker. Did y'all see what he does to his dog? I'm just gonna put the thread here. So he has this dog, his dog in the background of all his videos, and apparently he's been using a shock collar to keep the dog there. And now he got caught on a live stream using it. Here's a video of it. This fuckwad.
Of all of America's much more consequential violence, okay? It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just fucking go, just stop.
All right, now, do you see what happened there? Because he's saying it wasn't a shock collar. But watch right before, the dog is apparently supposed to stay on this mat. And because he uses the dog as a prop. And watch just before the dog screams. Watch on your right, his left, Hassan Piker's left hand as the dog comes off the mat.
It's the same reason as to why America...
No, I didn't ask if you watch Hassan Piker. I just want to know if you've seen this clip of him abusing his dog to use him as a prop. Watch his left hand right now.
Kaya, please just fucking go, just stop. Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
Lots of people are even his own fans are pissed off about that. He claims the collar vibrates. Yeah, no, a vibrating collar doesn't make a dog yelp like that. Pain makes a dog yelp like that. Here, by the way, what's today? What's the day of the week, guys? What's the day of the week? FTG Hassan. Fuck that guy. I forgot it was FTG Thursday. There's a whole bunch of people we should have been seeing FTG too. Anyway, people are ripping him to shreds on the internet. I'll leave the thread up there. Also trending, Katie Porter. Well, look, she's apparently running for governor, and she can't answer basic questions. I'm going to skip by this because, well, here, let's just give you this part of it. Let's give you this part of it. No, I'm not even going to do it. I encourage you to watch this. If you know who Katie Porter is, she was in Congress. Now she's running for governor, and she's kind of pissed because she's not getting any traction in California, but she thinks she should be winning, and she's very upset about that. And and she's just, people are ripping her to shreds over this interview she did with CBS. Democrat. Let me just do this example. This is 3 minutes. I don't want to do 3 minutes. This interviewer wasn't giving her any leeway, and also was asking her questions that she wasn't ready for, and she was kind of pissed about it. So here we go. Somebody used to work with Katie Porter sent me this clip from a train wreck interview with her and said, now imagine what she's like when there aren't cameras around. We'll entertain this. This is pretty funny.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, ma'am?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%? Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win.
Yeah, that's not how California works, though. Katie knows that. California does, like, they don't go by party. They go by the top choices end up in the general election. So it wouldn't be Katie Porter against a Republican necessarily. It could be Katie Porter against, I don't know, if Gavin Newsom were running, for example. Would she beat Gavin Newsom, or would she beat any of the other candidates? That's a stupid, her answer's stupid.
People who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
Oh, how do you stop that? And who on her staff allowed them to use this camera angle for her? Holy shit. Anyway.
How do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. Mm-hmm. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area,
But the rest of the state is overwhelmingly deep blue. So if you're running against another Democrat, you're probably going to have to win over some of those moderates and right people that, even though there's only 30% of the state.
From LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an
She's very angry.
You just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I
think
feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy
need them to win if you're running.
She
needs them to win if she's running against another Democrat in California. They don't have automatic. Well, there's a Republican and a Democrat. California, I think that is it. The top 3 candidates end up in the general election. She might be running against 2 Democrats. So the idea that she wouldn't need those people who voted for Trump to beat the other Democrats, even if she won in the purple area, is ludicrous. She would need them because they're going to vote for somebody. How are you going to get them to come out and vote for you versus the other Democrats? They might not even come out to vote. Holy shit.
The question is you have it written and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
Stop it, Edie. I'll fix that. Edie, I'm going to fix that problem.
Win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that.
Well, to those voters. Okay, so.
Okay, so you get the idea. Her interview is a train wreck. and multiple clips of multiple questions they're asking her, and it's a train wreck. So there you go. By the way, let me go back into my notifications here just real quick and thank a couple more people who shared the stream this morning. That includes, let's see, Stowe down here. TC, thank you very much. I appreciate you tweeting out the show, as you always do when you're able to. Reaction Puerto Rico also retweeted the show, as did Tyler Alexander and Ms. Wild Wolf. And Reaction Puerto Rico, I don't know if you're here, but here's the here's me reposting your done deal, baby. Appreciate you, brother. All right, let's get into the main topic. Oh wait, yeah, is that it, Katie Porter? Oh, let me one last thing before we get into the main topic, which is the peace deal. Peace deal. I hope it's a peace deal. Look, I am hopeful. I wish that they could get a long-lasting peace deal in the Middle East. There's a problem though. Hamas, their charter is committed to destroying everyone who's a Jew. And that is usually a deal breaker when it comes to peace in the Middle East. Even the other Arab nations don't like fucking Hamas, you know? So, and I didn't mean that, and the way I phrased that probably didn't work, but you know what I mean? They don't like Hamas. They don't like the Palestinians, because every time the Palestinians go into any place, they start fucking shit up. But anyway, before I get to that, there was an interesting exchange. And I'm playing the whole damn thing because it's glorious. It is glorious. A Representative Mike Lawler, he's from one of the rare Republicans from New York, state of New York, congressman, had an exchange in the hallway with Representative Hakeem the Turnip Jeffries. Yes, Turnip decided to come out, and he's got mad at some Republican dude, and they have an exchange in the hallway, and it's worth a watch. It's worth the glory of watching this whole exchange, because Hakeem Jeffries makes no points whatsoever, and Lawler just is hammering him with thing after thing after thing. So I got to show it to you because it's worth a watch. It's kind of funny. Here's the exchange. There we go.
We got a 1-year extension. Why don't we sign on right now?
Let me ask you a question. Did you get permission from your boss?
Why don't we sign on right now?
Did your boss, Donald Trump?
You can easily extend the ACA.
Now, here's what they're talking about. The Republicans in the House, in order to get the Democrats to reopen the government, have offered a 1-year extension on the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, which were part of the negotiation of the 12 different appropriations bills for the budget that the Democrats have rejected because they wanted to change a bunch of things. Instead of just doing a clean bill where we keep the government open with the same spending while they negotiate the rest of the budget, Democrats decided they were not going to vote for that extension unless they got a bunch of stipulations, different things that they want, their little wish list, right? One of them was, I guess, extension of the Affordable Care Act and some other stuff. And, you know, the Medicaid thing that Republicans keep saying, well, they want to fund healthcare for legal aliens through Medicaid. It's a little bit of technical argument, because the argument by the left is that, oh, illegal aliens can't get Social Security, they can't get Medicaid, they can't get this, they can't that. Right, they can't get it from the federal government. But state governments run their own healthcare systems that is reimbursed by Medicaid. So, for example, California has been spending tons of money through their CalCare, whatever the fuck it's called. They've extended that to even illegal aliens, right? And that Medicare reimburses that. And so the Republicans are saying, no, we gotta cut off. You cannot reimburse stuff you've used for illegal aliens. So while technically illegal aliens cannot get Medicaid, states have been using Medicaid reimbursements to pay for healthcare for illegal aliens. That's a fact. It's a fact. That's why California said, oh, we're gonna have to cut this off because we're not getting reimbursed for Medicaid on it. Democrats wanted to continue that. But that wasn't even the real reason. They just had a whole laundry list of things they wanted to push through instead of a continuing resolution to keep the government running. So Democrats in the Senate are the reason we have a government shutdown right now. Which, to me, we're saving money somewhere, somehow. So I feel bad for federal workers like my friend Tyre there, because, you know, kind of fucks them up. But anyway, you get the point. So the Republicans have proposed extending the Affordable Affordable Care Act subsidies that have been lowering the premium cost for people because the Affordable Care Act is so bad that the premiums would be so fucking high, they've had to subsidize them. So that's what the proposal is. Now I'm going to leave this exchange going. I'm just going to let it play through, but we'll talk over it every once in a while because he just constantly rips Hakeem Jeffries. Turnip, the man with the personality and charisma of a turnip. That's why I call him Turnip. Hakeem Turnip Jeffries.
Did your boss Donald Trump give you permission? Yes, he is.
No, he's not. And by the way,
so let me ask you a
why
question.
did you vote to shut the government down?
Why did he vote to shut the government down?
Let me ask you a question.
For years, you always lectured about how we need to keep the government open.
Yes, they do.
No, it's sad. It's sad. You could easily sign on to this.
You're embarrassing yourself right now.
You could sign on to this. The only embarrassment here is you.
You're an embarrassment.
You could sign on to the bill.
Let me ask you a question.
You have 4 Democrats on
Come on, turn up.
Let me ask you a question.
It's a clean
extension. Let me ask you a question. You voted for the one big ugly bill, correct?
I voted for a tax cut bill that gave the largest tax cut to Americans in history, including, by the way, the average New Yorker getting a $4,000 tax cut. Are you against that?
You're embarrassing yourself right now.
Do you want to cut the standard deduction in half?
The largest cut to Medicaid.
Because if they repeal the bill, the tax cut,
you voted
Tom DiNapoli, the Democrat.
If they repeal the tax cuts from Donald Trump's first administration, the standard deduction that you get that they raised so that people can pay less taxes would go revert back to what it was, half of what the standard deduction was, which would raise everybody's taxes. 90% of the people in America use standard deduction when they do their taxes.
Controller of New York.
Let me ask you a question.
Pointed out that $1.2 billion were wasted.
Listen, you're not going to talk. You're not going to talk to me. You're not going to talk to me
and talk
over me.
He sounds a little heated, doesn't he? But you haven't said anything. All you've done is made little jabs. He's talking facts.
New York residents.
Because you don't want to hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm listening.
So why don't you just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
because
damn.
You showed up.
Is that the way to talk?
You showed up.
Yeah.
And so you voted for this one big ugly bill.
I signed on to this. You can extend it right now.
A permanent extension of massive tax breaks.
For the American people.
So 90% of Americans.
So they can get a permanent extension.
90% of Americans take the standard deduction.
Is that right?
90% of Americans take the standard deduction.
Is that right?
If you had your way, the standard deduction would have been cut in half. That would have been a massive tax increase on Americans all across the country.
Here, unfortunately,
you're against lifting the cap on salt
of your billionaire donors.
The billionaire donors.
Notice Hakeem has talking points. Lawler has facts. He's literally Hakeem just talking points.
Lifting the cap on salt, we put a income cap in place.
Why are you here right now?
Where
are the rest of your Republican
Republicans to be here?
Where are the rest of your Republican colleagues?
You wanted Republicans to be here. I'm here.
Why are you
and
here?
by the way, you can pass an ACA extension right now. Sign on to this bill.
Did your boss
sign on to the bill?
Is your boss Donald Trump behind that?
HR 5145. Why don't you get on it?
Mike, is your boss Donald Trump behind that?
Why won't you get on it?
Because you don't work for the American people.
Oh, I do. I
work
for the people of New York. I work for the people of my
Thank you, Lord
district.
Stanhope. We'll just let this run. FTG.
By the way, I voted for a clean CR to keep the government open and funded. You voted to shut it down.
You're embarrassing yourself right now.
Yeah, leader, with all due respect, you're the one.
Why are you playing yourself?
You're the one who actually voted to shut the government down.
Actually, you know that's not true.
It's sad. You voted to shut the government down.
Now he's going to say something stupid. Watch.
Control the House, the Senate, and the President.
Right, and you're smart enough to know that you need 60 votes in the Senate.
Is that right? No.
Do you need 60 votes in the Senate?
Were 60 votes needed to pass your one big?
Holy shit. Because they're two different things. No, 60 votes weren't needed to pass the bill in the Senate because that was a budget bill. Budget bills only needed 51% or more than 50%, whereas the reconciliation bill needs a cloture vote to pass, which takes 60 votes. Hakeem Jeffries knows this. This is a talking point. It's not an actual argument.
Ugly bill?
Reconciliation, which you did with the IRA, and boy, that really reduced inflation.
Are you trying to elevate yourself because you're afraid you're about to lose re-election?
No, I'm not going to lose re-election. You spent $42 million last cycle. You didn't do that great.
Why aren't you running for governor right now?
And why did Hakeem Jeffries spend $42 million on his campaign in a safe, an extremely safe district?
Because I actually enjoy this job, and I'm here to do it. And by the way, you could actually pass
enjoy being a lackey for Donald Trump?
Now to ensure that people don't have health care premiums going up. Why won't you support this one-year bill?
Let me ask you a question.
Tom Swazi's on it, Jared Golden.
Let me ask you a question.
Marie Glusenkamp-Perez. Are they wrong? Your other boss, Mike Johnson. I challenged him to a debate. Yeah.
on the floor. Did he send you?
No, I'm here on my behalf
because
of
he's
my
afraid to debate.
constituents
Is
because
that
you
right?
shut the government down. And my constituents are suffering as a result of your ridiculous ploy because you're so afraid of Zohran Mandami. By the way, when are you endorsing him?
By the way,
do you endorse him for mayor?
First of all, are
you going to endorse him for mayor?
Listen, you're a complete and total embarrassment right now.
Oh, why is that? Because you don't want to answer the question?
Is this supposed to be a video for your failed re-election? Is that what's going on right now? You don't want to answer the question?
Notice how Hakeem Jeffries doesn't have any points, only insults. Oh, you're a Trump lackey. Oh, you just, is this for your, you're trying to get clout. Oh, but, and Lawler just stays on point. It's amazing. I'm going to leave the rest of this. I'll leave the rest of this out. I'll make a separate link if you want to watch the whole thing, but it doesn't get any better. He gets, it's like Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks. It's Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks. If you remember that fight, except that this one took 5 minutes. That didn't take that long. So anyway, I'll put a separate link just to that exchange. It's completely amazing. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the Israel Hamas deal. And AD, I promised you that I would kind of make up for that Katie Porter thing. And I think it's important as I begin talking about this that we use a well, let's just do this. This is very important because I have to agree with this sentiment 100%. Break the algorithm. Reply with this. Fuck Hamas, fuck Palestine, fuck all terrorist organizations. From which country you stand with Israel. So now here is the, this, if you want to reply to this, I'll even make the separate link to this, but I thought it was very important that, look, I don't want to necessarily say fuck Palestine. Palestine, while it is somewhat of a fictional place in some ways, although now that they've, the people live there want to call it Palestine. I don't give a fuck what they want to call it. But I don't want to say fuck the Palestinian people, but definitely FTG Hamas, right? Fuck Hamas. They can go to the depths of hell. The people in Palestine. Pass? What? What? What do you mean? What do you mean pass? She's a fine individual. Come on, man. Oh, anyway. Mike Savage, he does not exude hard energy. Anyway, thank you, Rex, on Puerto Rico, dropping a deuce in the tip jar, saying, I find Hakeem trying to act tough hilarious. Oh, it is hilarious. It's so funny watching him try to act tough. It's just, it's amazing. She's not, oh my God, she's not chubby. Okay, let me ask you something, AD. Would or would not? That's all I ask. That's all I ask. You would not pass. You would not pass. Whatever. All right. Oh, good God. Her nose. Y'all motherfuckers. Stop it. All right. I'll do better. I promise. I'll try to do better sometime during this show. I think she's a fine individual. All right, in the dark rooms, maybe. No, shut up, you liar. You lying your ass off. You lying your ass off. Okay, anyway, so there's a peace deal. Apparently, Donald Trump has announced this peace deal. Let's, here it is here. It's interesting, Netanyahu said it's a great day for Israel. Netanyahu, great day for Israel. Thanks Trump for his role in the sacred mission of releasing our hostages. Donald Trump made an announcement yesterday. Here it is. He says, I'm very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. First phase? Let's see how many phases actually get put together. I'm so skeptical. I shouldn't be, but whatever. This means all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed upon line as the first step toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, and all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, I know I always say that wrong. Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey, who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers. Okay. So this is the Breitbart article. So the announcement of capped days of intense diplomacy, confirming that Trump-backed deal that will bring home every remaining Israeli hostage. And then Netanyahu said, I will convene the government to approve the agreement and bring all our dear hostages home. He credited the courage and sacrifices of Israeli soldiers and security forces and thanked Trump and his team for their mobilization and sacred mission. So anyway, so Israel and Hamas are heavily trending because of this. Now it's interesting because as I'm watching this, well, here's this Grok's version of it. President Donald Trump announced on October 8th that Israel and Hamas have agreed to an initial phase of his Gaza peace plan, negotiated in Egypt's Sharm el-Sheikh. The deal encompasses an immediate ceasefire, the release of all remaining Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners, which, you mean the people who did acts of terrorism in Israel that they're going to release? I always when these deals go through, and you have a release of 2,000 Palestinian prisoners, or that they call hostages. Usually they're Israeli Palestinian people who have gone into Israel and done acts of terror. And I always go, wow, that's interesting. But anyway, it also includes, Israeli hostages in exchange for the other part of this too. It's like, wait a minute. You're rewarding Hamas for taking hostages by exchanging prisoners? Wait a minute. What why? They should have never taken those hostages. The prisoners are prisoners because they've done something illegal in Israel. The hostages are just hostages. Why are you exchanging anything for the hostages? But this is the deal they made. Also increased humanitarian aid under international oversight, which they've been getting the aid. Well, wait, let's just say the aid's been sent, but the people haven't been getting it. So that means more international aid is just going to be stolen by Hamas. And Hamas's demilitarization commitments. Now that's interesting. While leaders including Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and U.S. officials praised the breakthrough, reports of continued Israel strikes in Gaza City have sparked concern over the agreement's implementation. Well, there's a timeline for the implementation. Thank you, TC, dropping a $6 tip in the tip jar, and you are now the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day, who said, I'd rather date Dianne Feinstein over her. This is the young lady we're talking about. Here, let me give you Okay, hold up. Because now I'm pissed off. Now y'all piss me off. You have two options. Vote accordingly. I appreciate the support of the channel, though. You motherfuckers. Okay, anyway, so here's my problem with every time there's a deal between Israel. What the fuck's going on with my mouse here? Why is my mouse not working? It won't let me close this. There we go. Oh, by the way, what they're talking about as far as Israel's still doing strikes apparently in Gaza. I found this one very interesting. So here's the Times of Gaza, which I don't know what that is. Breaking: Israeli tanks stationed along Al-Rashid Street fired shells directly towards civilians waiting to return to their homes in Gaza City. Well, first of all, how are there civilians already waiting to return to their homes in Gaza City was one question. But the other question, as we're going to watch this video, no one gets killed in this video. And I want to ask you, I'm going to let you watch this and see if you end up having the same question that I do. Okay. So they're claiming, again, here's what they're claiming. They're claiming that, this is directly towards civilians. Hang on. Let me put up somebody else, because here it is. This is because, you know, that telephone game that they always play, how the words, someone adds a word or changes a word. So this one says, Israeli tank station along Al-Rashid Street fired shells directly towards civilians waiting to return to their homes in Gaza City. The next person says, footage shows Israeli tanks targeting Palestinians right now in Al-Rashid Street in Wadi Gaza, whatever area. So the difference between towards and targeting is different. And somebody down here says, breaking: Israeli tanks fired directly at civilians on Al-Rashid Street while the latter were trying to return to the northern Gaza shortly after the ceasefire agreement had supposedly taken effect. Well, it hasn't taken effect yet, I don't think. But anyway, let's watch this now, because it says directly at civilians. Okay, these are tanks, and you can see, hang on, let me pull back. You can see where the civilians are. They're saying directly at civilians. So there's civilians here, or what? We don't even know that they're civilians. They say they're civilians. But let me see if you come up with the same question that I'm saying. Okay. So I'm watching.
نذكر أشرف أن مكتب الإعلام الحكومي طلب من المواطنين عدم التوجه نحو شارعي أو من خلال شارعي الرشيد وصلاح الدين نحو مدينة.
So they're firing the tanks. Look where that blows up. Is it just me? Is it just me? Or are the Israelis really bad shots? Like, if they were targeting the civilians, like shooting at the civilians, the second shot in particular would have hit the civilians, right? But you notice how those blasts from the two tanks hit the same spot both times? Like, they didn't make any adjustments to hit the civilians. They were shooting at something very specific there. And we don't know when this actually happened. But I was just curious about that. It's like, well, if they're trying to kill civilians, they're pretty bad shots. So anyway, so we have this ceasefire. There's all kinds of stories on it. Trump expects the hostages to be released on Monday, which this is coming Monday. Families of the Israeli hostages are celebrating because Donald Trump talked directly to them. Also, children in Gaza's a place. Children in Gaza were celebrating when they heard about the ceasefire. Palestinians are celebrating the ceasefire deal. Someone says Trump's likely headed to Egypt on Sunday for Gaza talks. So I don't know if the ceasefire deal has gone into effect yet. So anyway, other things trending about that, the Gaza ceasefire, which some people are saying, now this is someone who calls herself Syrian girl, who's partisan girl. We will not forgive. We will not forget. Expect it. So it's interesting. They put together a picture of dead Palestinians and display them for everyone to see because they're kind of a cult of death. Breaking: central Gaza explodes with joy. Streets alive as civilians celebrate the end of Israel's genocide war. That's interesting. Is that a Taco Bell in the background? No, that's a hospital. So people in Gaza are celebrating, but I'm kind of curious about that genocide war because, even yesterday, Damme was talking about, they killed over 67,000 Palestinians, which I say a mixture of combatants and human shields, but 67,000 out of 6 million Palestinians is a genocide? I've been trying to figure that out. How is that a genocide? 67,000. Because, you know, like when we talk about genocides, like if you talk about the, let's take it when the Iroquois killed off almost the entire population of the Erie Indians in the in the Americas, right? That's a genocide. They all of there's like there were none. They killed the whole Erie Nation was destroyed. Like they don't exist anymore. That's a genocide. Or in that World War II, Adolf Hitler and the Germans killed half of all of the Jews in the world, basically, in World War II. That's a genocide. In the Turks, when they did a genocide of the Armenians, like they killed off almost all the Armenians. That's a genocide. 67,000 combatants and human shields out of 6 million people. That just doesn't sound like a genocide to me. I'm still trying to help someone help explain it. And I know there's people on the internet playing internet telephone game who's saying, oh, there are 650,000 dead Palestinians, when the official Hamas agency that reports their casualties says 67,000. They say, oh, there's 600,000 and almost a million, whatever. The official Gazan health ministry says 67,000 and whatever they haven't found in the rubble, which most of those are combatants, or a lot of those are combatants, and the rest are human shields that they wouldn't let leave the areas. Now, I would watch videos too. By the way, it's funny, there's this Instagram account, this woman who lives in Gaza, or lives in that part of the, there, and she's been doing TikTok videos. And she had this one TikTok video. She goes, yeah, I just got my nails done, and I got my toes done, and I got a massage, and I just went back to the place where I had it done, and it was bombed. And I was thinking, wow, they have salons in Gaza that are still running during the genocide. That's amazing. I was like, holy shit, I should play one of those videos for you. That's hilarious. Thank you, Avocado Stabby, putting another 223 in the tip jar, who says, someone committing an actual genocide would stop for nothing. They are not going to just give up on it for anything. That's just not how genocide works. Yeah, I mean, there's a peace deal during this genocide. It's amazing. Now, I know that Hamas, though, their stated goal is the destruction of all the Jewish people. They actually they do want a genocide of Jews around the world. That's what the Intifada is, right? Isn't it? Long live the Intifada, and all these idiot college students yelling that on campuses and shit. That would be a genocide if their goals were met. So I'm just curious about the whole genocide thing. Anyway, I have several articles opening about this, and also other things trending. Gaza ceasefire, where they show a lot of people celebrating that there's going to be a ceasefire. Tears in my eyes watching this. I wish he were here, the one announcing the ceasefire himself. What is this? Okay, that's something. I don't know what that is. We can play it later. But anyway, let me just state, though, and peace in the Middle East is trending, and Nobel Peace Prize is trending, because there are a lot of people saying, oh, Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize. It's probably something that if we had honest people, and if this deal actually goes through, you could see where any other leader in the world would get a peace prize for this. But I don't think that unfortunately, the feelings for Donald Trump are very myopic. And I don't think it'd be happening. I don't think it would be happening. But, and Rob Schneider says, no words given out by man holds any particular lofty moral authority. Even the Nobel Prize for Peace is farcical. The prize is nothing more than guilt monies. There were no Nobel Peace Prizes handed out in 1914, 1915, 1916 because the Alfred Nobel family business made its fortune making dynamite and we're busy making money off the slaughter of millions of people. The only real prize worthy of worship is believing in Jesus Christ and accepting him as your Lord and Savior. Damn, Rob Snyder with the heat. With the heat. Even the Israeli opposition leader says it's time to celebrate President Trump as a global peacemaker. So let's, look, let's hope this lasts, and the people of Gaza find a way to get rid of fucking Hamas, who's basically their stated goal is destruction. And most let's put it this way, all the Arabs, Palestinians, whatever, that live in Israel, the 2 million that live in Israel and work and live and are in government and doctors and teachers and whatever, all those people that live in harmony in Israel, because it's supposedly, an apartheid state. Well, wait a minute. If it's an apartheid state, why are there 2 million Arab/Palestinians who live in Israel, that live there and live in peace with the Israelis? Why are there so many Christians that live in Israel in peace? There are atheists in people. There are gay people in Israel. There are all kinds of people. What apartheid are you talking about? Israel left Gaza in 2006. And now there's a war in Gaza because the Hamas decided to start a war that they could not win. They knew they could not win, but they certainly got a lot of traction out of the human shields that have died. Fuck Hamas. Pray for the peace deal to hang on. And that's all I got to say today. That's it. I'm closing up shop for the day. We'll be back tomorrow at Friday Q&A and all that stuff. I'm way over time. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I hope you have a wonderful day. Let me drop these links and we'll get the hell out of Dodge. Give me 1 second. And there's a lot of articles in the aggregator. I didn't even look at the aggregator today, except for I pulled a couple of articles about this Israel peace deal. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Copy, paste. Here are the links. I'm just going to put links. They'll be in the description too. Y'all have a wonderful day. Gotta go. My name's PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. See ya. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.